How are my ProStart students today? I hope you're doing well. It's Chef Jackson Lamb, Metropolitan State University of Denver, Colorado. Today we're talking about Chapter 9 on Level 2 of ProStart, which is food costing. Hey, students, I need to tell you that this is probably one of the most important chapters you're going to review. And there's so much information, I don't want to get you confused by going too long on a video, but there's several things that you do need to know. You know, when we're dealing with food costing, the biggest issue, I think, is consistency. If you have a customer, in fact, you are the customer. Let's say you went into a place, I'm so sorry, you did go into a place 2 weeks ago and you had some fish tacos, or you went someplace and had a burger, or you went someplace and had a bowl of ramen. And then you went back 2 weeks later and had the same thing again, and it was totally different. That is not what we're supposed to do in this industry. Food costing begins with consistency. And the consistency means we've got to make sure that we're putting out the same product every day. It looks the same, it weighs the same, and it's been portioned the same. That's probably the easiest way to put it. Along the way, there's a lot of tricks of the trade that we can utilize. In fact, your book talks about using portion control scoops. We call them ice cream scoops, but they really are designed. They're made in varying sizes, and they're designed so that a level scoop would actually be the equivalent of, it depends. It depends on what size scoop it is. A number 8 scoop means you'll get 8 scoops out of a quart. So now we have to do the math. A quart is 32 ounces. 8 scoops out of a quart, that means we're going to get a 4-ounce portion. Well, if we're portioning out potatoes, peas, carrots, kernel corn, that's all perfect. On the other side of the kitchen, we've got ladles. And again, if we're trying to portion out 2 ounces of green chili with some nachos, or a 4-ounce serving of sauce, or a 6-ounce serving of soup or green chili, we want to make sure that we're using the right portion control device. You know, a lot of our food costing, it begins at the very beginning. It begins with menu planning. It moves on then to purchasing, receiving, storing, issuing, prepping, cooking, holding, and then actual service to the customer. There's a lot of points along the way where we can have things go wrong. So, something to bear in mind. You know, look, come on over here for a second. Can you come with me? Come on. Over here behind me, I've got a couple of principles that we should all bear in mind. Let's check this out. You know, the thing is, with food cost, we're always dealing in food cost percentage, liquor cost percentage, beverage cost percentage. You should remember that percentages are cousins of fractions, okay? 33% food cost, 33% is the same as a third. A third of what? Well, 25% is the same as a quarter. 33% is the same as a third. 50% is the same as a half. Look at these things on the back here. This is good news to bear in mind. Over here, we start talking about costing. Learn to think in fractions and percentages, all right? If you can do that, that's half the battle right there. Learn to look for fractions and percentages. You know, in the previous chapter, we were talking about introduction to cost control. Boy, when you get to that profit and loss statement, it's all percentages in there, that's for sure. The next one is learn to talk in fractions and percentages. Learn to explain fractions and percentages. And the bottom line to this is you're going to have to learn to live with fractions and percentages. So as I walk around the classroom here, those are those things that we just need to bear in mind. So I want to walk you through an example of how we determine a true food cost at the end of the month. If you'll recall in the last video that we did, I did some sketching on the wall. We talked about a hamburger and a plate cost, which is certainly you'll have to do that for the 5 items that are going to be on your ProStartville menu. But hey, come on over here for a second. I want to share this with you. let's go backwards here. In your book, it has this formula, but I thought I'd share it with you. When we are we're in business month after month after month. What we do is we take inventory at the end of month to test our financial health of the operation. How do we do that? Here's the formula. We do an opening inventory. I'll bet some of you students out there have actually worked in the industry, and maybe you have helped take inventory on a Saturday morning, or on the last day of the month, or on the first day of the month. So in a good operation, what we're trying to do here is we want to take an opening inventory. The purpose is to determine what is the value of everything we have in the house. We're seeking a dollar value there. As the month goes along, we're going to be doing some more purchases. So as we purchase, hopefully we're purchasing at the right price, but we should be tracking those purchases so that at the end of the month we have a total dollar amount of what we purchased. So check this out. We take our opening inventory, we add it to our purchases. This gives us a number which represents the total amount of inventory that was available for us to work with this month. Okay? At the end of the month, we take inventory again. Real quick, we take inventory depending on the operation. I worked in an operation once where we only took inventory once a year. Most places will take inventory once a month. Places that are in financial difficulty may take inventory once a week. I worked in a place in New York once, and we were hemorrhaging money. We took inventory every day. In actuality, when you're taking inventory once a month, you still have to place orders, so you wind up taking an informal inventory almost every day. Anyway, let's come back to the formula real quick. Opening inventory plus purchases gives me a total amount available. We take closing inventory, and that becomes an equation. We subtract our closing inventory. It tells us how much food we used. Usage. And we can take that usage and we can compare it to the sales that it generated, and that gives us a food cost percentage. I don't know if there's anything else in this PowerPoint that we can share today. Well, here's that same formula with the numbers in there. And this is actually the same formula you'll see in your textbook. Let's using real numbers. Here we go. Opening inventory is $12,500. Okay? The purchases in this operation, $8,000. Total available, $20,500. Closing inventory told us that was $6,500 left in the walk-in, in the freezer, on the shelves, and in the storeroom. This means that we use $14,000 worth of product. Here's our sales figure here. $14,000 worth of product generated $38,000 in sales. What's that relationship? What is the relationship to the usage versus the sales? Cost over sales equals percentage. We taught you that the last semester. In this particular case, the food cost percentage is 36.8%. That's a great equation right there, ladies and gentlemen. So, let me just rearrange here, working around the tables. I want to come on over here. Follow me. Yeah, here we are down at the campus. It's the beautiful fall day at Metro State University. You should be here. It's kind of nice. But you're not here. You're where you are, and that's a good thing. This is the ProStart communication that we're doing through Metro State University, and this is going out to most of our schools that are dual enrolled with us at Metro State University. It's a pleasure for me to come into your classroom. Hey, it's Chef Jackson Lamb at Metro State University. We're continuing with beverage costing. We're going to get into purchasing. You'll see me on all the other videos, okay? Chef Jackson Lamb signing off. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.